Building Better Businesses with Catalyst Consulting is brought to you in partnership with Speak Studios and Speak Spokane, presented by Delicious Hamburgers. Welcome to Building Better Businesses. I'm Kristen Dees, founder of Catalyst Consulting, an agency that helps small businesses and entrepreneurs start, grow, and level up their businesses. This podcast will bring you interviews with experts in all things business related. Have questions for a business attorney? We've got answers. How about your health insurance? Got you covered there too. New episodes coming your way every week. Find us on the podcasting platform of your choice. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Building Better Businesses with Catalyst Consulting. My guest today is Stephen Wible of Credit Suite, and he is a wizard when it comes to business credit, how to get it, who needs it, where to find it, how to build it, etc., how to leverage it for your business. So I'm pretty stoked that you're here. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Chris. I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, great. So we'll just jump right in. So tell us a little bit about you as a human being.
I'm old. Actually, I'm someone who's never had a job in my life. Always been self-employed, other than the Marine Corps. This company is my first job. It was weird to put an application in and have a resume that said president, CEO. But I felt what they were doing was super important, and I felt like the word had to get out. And I had hit that time in my life where I wanted to make sure what I was doing had an impact for other people as opposed to just myself. Right? Mm-hmm. And this company truly does that. I was in the manufacturing world for most of my life. My father was in it. His father was in it. I was a real estate investor for a lot of time, about 10, 12 years, lived through that whole mess of 2008 and continued to stay in real estate until I found this company about 5 years ago. So now I'm here. It's the first time, like I said, that I haven't been the driver of the ship, and I kind of enjoy it. But I understand the difficulties that business owners go through because I've done it. I've done it multiple times. I've done it with huge success, and I've done it with failures. As a matter of fact, to me, every failure was always one step towards success. And that's really what I'm doing now is about. It's getting people around those failures, starting early in the game, teaching them things that I didn't know until later in my career. If you can learn that now, it's going to change your path completely. We're going to show them how to get credit without a personal guarantee, which is one of the number one complaint business owners have is they just don't have enough credit, right? It's difficult to grow your business. Remember, if you're not growing, you're going backwards. So in order to grow, someone has to finance that. You have a decision to make. Is it going to be you that finances it, or are you going to let somebody else finance it for you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So tell us also a fun fact about you, besides that you've never had a real job until now.
Damn, there goes my fun fact. Yeah. Let's see. I am a hobby junkie. Junkie. So I've done everything from got myself to, and worse than a hobby junkie. I'm a hobby junkie who once I get good at it, I quit. So I did karate for years, got up to a certain level, and was like, all right, I'm good. Quit. I did bowling, got to a 200 plus average, said, all right, I'm done. I quit. Never went bowling again. Fishing, had the boat, the whole day. Like I drive my wife crazy. I find a new hobby, I dive right into it. Now I'm just at the end of my golf career, I think. I'm looking for something else. So yeah. I'm a lunatic. If I do something once and it's fun, I'm like, let's do it every day now.
That's funny. I have a friend that's like that. He likes to learn new things, and then he's kind of like, "Oh, okay. Well, I did that now." So,
yeah, I'll never be great at anything, but I always want to be good at everything.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah, I don't like to do things I'm not good at. So, I've committed to learning to play golf, and that's been a very frustrating venture. But
I'll tell you, it's the longest hobby I have. I got down to a 7 handicap, and then I quit for 2 years and went back because I know if you don't play it regularly, what happens. Yep. And I went back and suddenly I was a 19 again. I couldn't play. So now I'm getting back down to that. And probably when I hit 7 or 6, I'll quit again.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I'm like, well, I did that. New summer sport. That's funny. So you kind of started talking about it a little bit already, but Give us a little bit more information on what you do and how you provide support for business owners and entrepreneurs.
Well, we're an education company, and that's exactly what we do. We teach business owners, one, that they have a business credit profile, because most have no idea they even have one, let alone what to do with it. So we show them that they do have a business credit profile, whether they like it or not, and the odds are it's probably bad. Not because they did anything wrong, but because if nothing's reporting, the business credit reporting agencies will give you a bad score, a failing grade. The good news is that unlike personal credit, it doesn't take forever to build a business credit profile. Like with personal credit, it takes years to become a strong borrower. Business credit, under a year, you can look like you're the strongest borrower there is. And we show you exactly how to do that. It's a process, but the problem that people run into is only 7% of all lenders and creditors actually report to the business credit reporting agencies. Only 7%. So you may have a credit line with your bank, but if they're not reporting, it's not helping your business build a profile. It's good for you that you got the credit line and certainly something you can use, but it's not building that profile. And I have to tell you, not only is that important because it's credit without you personally guaranteeing it, but it actually adds real value to your business. And this will make sense. If there's two barbershops for sale in the same street, same building, same customer profile, same revenue, same profit, everything's the same, but one has $500,000 in credit available to it under the business name that goes with the business, and the other one doesn't, which one's more valuable if you're going to sell them? Right?
The one with
obviously with credit. Sure, because that credit's tied to the business. I buy that business, that comes with that credit.
Gotcha.
I have access to that. So that's what I love about business credit. And on top of that, if you and I went and applied for, let's say, a Home Depot credit card or a gas card or whatever, we're going to get limits that are typical for consumers, right? So typically a consumer with a Home Depot credit card might be $5,000, on the high side. A gas card might only be $1,000. But now imagine you apply for a gas card and you apply under your company, and the company is, Kristen Transportation Incorporated, right? You have a trucking company. They're going to give you limits of $15,000, $20,000, $30,000. That's a game changer. And oh, by the way, no personal guarantee. It goes in the business name. So it's not just the no guarantee; it's the limits are 10 to 100 times higher. And you go right to the SBA's website; they literally say that, and that's why I don't understand people who are so quick to pull out their personal credit card to finance their business. It makes no sense to me.
It's risky.
Right? It is, because if the business goes down, you're still on the hook, right? And look, it's not that and none of us plan to fail, but you certainly shouldn't fail to plan either,
right?
Right?
Yeah.
Right. I call it playing checkers or chess with your business versus checkers. Right? Plan 4, 5, 6 steps ahead. Don't just deal with what's in front of you. What's in front of you is already there. You have to deal with it anyway, but don't play like that forever. Plan on your growth. How are you going to grow this business? Who's going to find? Here's when I talk to business owners, and they say, "Yeah, I want to double my business next year." Outstanding. You have plans for that? Yeah, I'm going to get this account, this account, this account. Right. How are you going to finance it? I don't know. I have no idea. Well,
I'll figure it out.
But here's the thing: that will put you out of business. I learned that the hard way. When I was still in the printing industry, actually I was in the Marine Corps. I quit. Got in an argument with my father, can't remember why, but I live with him, so working for him and living with him just wasn't working out. So I did something stupid, I'm sure. I got fired. I went right to the Marine Corps recruiting station, joined immediately, left. When I got out, now, of course, my dad tried to hire me back the next day. It was too late. But when I got out, I came home and said, "Hey, I'd like to go back to work." And my dad, having integrity, said, "No, I already replaced you with someone. I'm not going to fire them. They've been here for 4 years." I said, "Well, I'm going to buy a suit. Let me borrow your car, and I'll go out and start selling for you." Okay, didn't cost him anything. Well, I didn't understand finance. I sold so much that my father couldn't produce it. He couldn't finance that growth. It almost put him out of business because he didn't have enough business credit. So that's, even when you're doing well, the lack of business credit can actually hurt you.
Yeah.
So then the question is, how do you get it? How do you get business credit, right? I can tell you 99% of the business owners that are listening right now will not get approved for any business credit. And it's really not their fault. It's because no one educates them on what lenders are looking for. And especially in the beginning stages, It's real basic, but people fail it, especially today, day and age, with everything being digital and everything's moving so quick. We call them fundability factors. They're really just fraud detection. Do you mind if I share one or two of those?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so first thing that a lender or a creditor is going to look for is your email. I don't have to ask you. I already know the answer, Kristen. How many times have you had a business owner reach out to you? Their business email is ihaveabusiness@gmail.com.
Many times.
Yeah, more than should be, right?
Yeah.
Instead, look, you want to present yourself as a legitimate business, right? You're asking for some lender or creditor to give your company credit without you guaranteeing it. So they've got to trust your company. They've got to know that you're legit. What they'd rather see is info@yourcompanieswebsite.com. Right? It's professional.
Yep.
Right? So that's the first thing. That's the first red flag that'll get somebody denied. So if you're using a Gmail, Yahoo, I guess there's some people using AOL still, but if you're using any of those, get yourself. You can go to GoDaddy, register a URL, get the corresponding email, and just have it forward to your Gmail account. If you love your Gmail account so much, just have it forward there. But at least when you fill out a credit application, that's what you're putting down. So that's the first. Second, if I ask most business owners today for their business phone number, what do you think they give me?
Their cell phone.
You got it. Attached at the hips, right? Here's the problem. Do you remember picking up the phone when you were younger? You must have been like 3, and you dialed 411. You know, the little turn that, and you asked for Joe's Pizza.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's called the National 411 database. It still exists today. It's the first place that lenders and creditors check to see if you're really in business. Here's the problem. Guess what you can't list there?
A cell
phone. You got it. So then I know what business owners are saying right now. They're listening and going, well, I don't want to get a phone on my desk. Who uses phones anymore? I agree. But you can do something. It's real simple. It's called a voice over IP. Right? And I know you're familiar with that. And most of your listeners are probably familiar with Google Voice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an example of a voice over IP, but you can't use Google Voice because Google owns that number. You're not paying them for it. It's free. If you list that number, it'll come up as Google.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Right. So instead, you can go to a company like Ringcentral, go to ringcentral.com, get yourself an 800 number, local number, it forwards to your cell, and it's a legitimate business number. And I'll tell you why that's important anyway. As your business grows and you move, you can keep the same phone number all the time. You can forward it to any number you want. Right? So this way your number is consistent over the years. Right? So go get a legitimate business phone number. You go to listmenow.org or .net, excuse me, and list it yourself with the National 401 database. And then you want to make sure you're listed on Google and you're listed all the places of real business. Look at it from a lender's point of view. If I want to give you credit, Kristen, and you tell me your company is ABC Marketing, I'm going to Google up ABC Marketing. I'm going to see what's going on with your company. Are you legit? How long you've been in business? What are people saying about you? Well, they do that. They actually look. Artificial intelligence will look. So if it doesn't match and they can't find you, they're just going to automatically go, no, they're not even going to take a chance. They're not even going to look at it. So you want to make sure you're listed. You want to make sure everything's congruent and it all matches, and you've got a better opportunity to be approved. That's 2 items I've given you, right? The third is an address. I know they're convenient, but never use a P.O. box for an address, ever. And it makes sense. If I want to borrow money from you, Kristen, and I filled out my credit application and it said, I'm never going to pay you at yahoo.com, and my phone number was a burner cell phone and my address was a P.O. box, how comfortable are you giving me any money, even $1?
Yeah.
Right,
they want to be able to find you. Yeah.
Exactly. They want to make sure you're really a business. So you could use your home. That's fine. That's a legitimate business address. We rated a C on a ABC scale. A B would be a virtual office like a Regis or an Alliance or Opus. And here's how you know the difference between a virtual office and a P.O. box, because a lot of these companies are out there saying they're virtual offices and they're P.O. boxes. Like, I know people have heard of iPostal. If you're unsure, Google Earth the address that they give you, go down to street level, and look at what you see. If it looks like a retail store, it's a P.O. box. You'll see like a UPS store or a Staples or the United States Post Office. If it looks like a retail location, it is a P.O. box. It's got an SIC code that's a P.O. box. If it's a 12-story building, it's a virtual address.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I always tell people stick with your home if you're a startup because that's fine. We're all working from home anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, well, not last, but certainly the one that everybody should pass is have a business bank account. Don't run your business through your personal bank account. They can check that. It takes them 2 seconds. And as a matter of fact, that leads me to something. I hear people buying shelf corporations. They think it's going to give them more credit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back in the day, that you could get away with that. Now, with the advent of instant information, I can find out when your business really started when you opened your bank account in 2 seconds. So if you tell me your business is 20 years old and your bank account was just opened this year, to me, you're a fraud. You're a fraud application. I'm marking your account fraud. And
Oh,
they will. And they
mm-hmm.
will. And they'll report that to DMB, and DMB will mark it as fraud. And here's the problem. Once you're marked as fraud, you're done. You're never getting credit, ever.
Mm-hmm.
So don't buy shelf corporations. Your business went into business the day you opened your business bank account.
Okay.
Okay. Last but not least, we mentioned it. We touched on it. Dun & Bradstreet. Get your DUNS number. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. You probably already have it if you've been in business over a year. They assign it to you. If you're unsure, just go to dnb.com and then look and do DUNS number lookup. Put your company name in, the state you're in, and hit search. If they have your information, that means you have a DUNS number. You could just there's a little button that says send, email DUNS number. Right? If you don't have a DUNS number, it's free. Just apply for it right there. It takes about 30 days to get it. The reason it takes 30 days is because they need time for their telemarketers to call you and sell you something. You don't need to buy it. There's nothing they sell that you really need. Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to sell you verification. They're going to step you down from a $2,000 to a $1,500 to a $500 to a $149. The
Mm-hmm.
$149 is the rush. I want my DUNS number right now. Have patience. The rush is going to give it to you in 2 weeks. The free is going to give it to you in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So don't be in a hurry. And just so you know, if you apply for credit with, let's say, a Uline today and got approved, it takes them 60 days to report anyway. So if you apply for your DUNS number and it comes in 30 days, you're still way ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're the 5 items that are super important.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, 90% fail.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get denied, and then what's their natural instinct? They get denied, and the way they deny you, they don't say you're denied. Here's what they say. We're going to need you to personally guarantee this. That's all they say.
Gotcha.
So people naturally do, because that's what they've been trained to do their whole lives, to put their social security number on something.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. It just means that one of your fundability factors is jacked up a little bit. All right? Something doesn't match somewhere.
Makes sense.
Okay. And then once you have that laid out, then it becomes easy. It's just knowing who to apply to, what order, because there are certain vendors that'll give you credit with no credit. And then once that's reporting, you leave them alone. You move on to the next tier, what we call tiers, store credit, Staples, Office Depot, places like that. You'll get credit with them. Once they report, you move on again. Eventually, you're going to get to vehicle financing. So if you have a business and you use vehicles all the time, anything from pickup trucks to box trucks, or even luxury cars, you can buy that without a credit check if you build your business credit profile. You can get high-limit Visas, MasterCards, American Express. And I know there are millions of people out there with that wonderful Capital One Spark card. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a business credit card only because it says business credit card on it. It reports only on your personal credit. It doesn't help your business credit profile at all. There are a lot of business credit cards that are being promoted that aren't really business credit cards. When I talk about a real business credit card, I'm talking about a credit card that's going to report on your business credit profile or not report on your personal credit at all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not impacting you at all because it's easy to max out a business credit card. Businesses are consumers. They consume a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, a telemarketing company, it's easy for them to spend $25,000 with Mac because they need computers. Right? Now imagine trying to buy $25,000 in computers with your personal credit card. You're going to max it out.
Mm-hmm.
And your score's going to drop. And then when you really need your personal credit, it's not there for you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, keep it separate.
Okay, so that's your fundability factors. And we can actually give you a 4-step business credit building guide. I know you have the link to that. But this will get you off on the right foot. And then from there, something really cool happens. This is the fun part. See, we help you build your business credit profile, but it doesn't mean that's the end of the rainbow. There are tons of companies and banks out there who will give you credit that don't report, but who cares? It's just credit you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apple's one of them. I just touched on Apple. Apple will give you $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 in credit for your business. They don't report, so they don't help you build your business credit, but it's good credit to have if you're someone who needs computers. In the printing industry, I needed Macintoshes all the time. We were always buying them.
Yeah.
So, there's banks all through this country that will give you high limit Visas and MasterCards that aren't going to report on your business credit, but I'm talking high limit, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 in credit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the end of the rainbow. What happens is the tide shifts. Instead of you looking for credit, it starts looking for you. People always say, what do you mean it's looking for me? And I use this example. I'm a pretty high personal credit score. I go out my mailbox every single day. I'm looking to see if I have any sitting here now. There's a credit card offer, a personal loan offer. There's always an offer for some sort of money in my mailbox every day. They didn't randomly send that to me. They bought my information from TransUnion, TRW, and Experian. We want people in this demographic, in this area, with this income level, with this type of credit score. And then they market to me, hoping that I'm going to take one of their cards. The same exact thing happens in the business lending world. They need customers. They're looking for people to borrow from them. So what do you think they do? They buy your information from the business credit reporting agencies. And the top three are Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. Equifax is but Experian, you've got to build that profile up. That's the one that banks look at.
Okay.
So once you build your profile, you're going to find that getting credit and getting money is much easier because it's coming looking for you. It's knocking on your door every day. And that's when it really gets fun.
How do you know if a financial institution or whatever, bank, store, whatever, reports on your business credit or not? How do you find out?
Well, first of all, you should monitor your business credit at all times. But I flat out ask them, do you report? Who do you report to? They may say no, they don't report. So they're not helping you build, but if it's credit you want, who cares? As long as there's no personal guarantee involved.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so again, we're back to 93% just don't report. But as long as it's credit you need, I know this. I know that Ford, Toyota, both report to the business credit reporting agencies, but maybe Chrysler doesn't, but maybe maybe that's what you want to buy. Right, so it's still credit you want. It's another one. Floor and Decor is a big store around the country right now. Right, Floor and Decor. I don't know if you have one where you are. They give business credit. Now, for contractors, that's awesome. For people flipping houses, that's awesome. Right, but they don't report. They're not helping them build their profile, but they are giving them high limit credit, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 in credit to buy their products. So for a contractor, that's a godsend because they're selling their service to a homeowner. And they don't have to front the money for the flooring.
Yeah.
They can get it on credit, install it, collect the payment, and then pay it off.
Makes sense. Okay.
All right.
So then does your personal credit affect your ability to get business credit, or is it separate?
No, that's what's great. It doesn't. I could start a company today. I could take anybody who's got a 350 or 400 credit score. I think you got to work really hard to get a 400 credit score. But if they started an LLC today, I could show them how to get anywhere between $100,000 and $200,000 in credit within 12 months.
Okay.
Without a personal guarantee. They're not. That's the whole point of it. They never get your social. Well, that's not true. They will get your social at some point when you get into the higher tiers because of Department of Homeland Security. They will ask for your social security number for identification purposes only to make sure you're not laundering money, getting I'll use Floor and Decor as an example. I get $20,000 in tile. I sell it out the back of a truck for $10,000, never pay them, and fund terrorism.
Oh.
Right. So
sure.
they'll ask for ID purposes only, in case that's what you're doing. That's all they're looking for. They're not looking to come after you personally, and they can't. Matter of fact, the secret is you monitor your personal credit and you'll lock it, so they can't pull your credit anyway.
Oh, gotcha.
And we can all do that on our apps now. You just on your lap, just lock your credit report, and they'll have no choice but to run your business credit.
Okay.
But don't put your social security number on the application. What I mean by that is when it asks for it, don't put it on there. Have them run it, approve you, and then ask for the social for identification purposes only. Now, there's a process. This is part of what we teach people.
Okay. So let's see. What are my other questions here? You kind of answered quite a bit of them already.
Can't help it. It's like a tornado.
Yeah.
It just comes out.
Yeah, no, I think you literally did. I'm just looking to see if I have any other questions. Yeah, I guess so. Like, maybe describe what you guys do then. So, like, how you help people. Like, what's the process look like when you guys are involved? When you're involved?
Great question. So we've laid it out. This company's laid it out in an amazing way. It's like paint by numbers. You remember paint by numbers when you were a kid?
Oh yeah.
Right. So they've made it that simple. They laid it out almost on a fifth grade level, where it's step 1.1, 1.2. You log into a platform, you follow the steps, and then we have an entire team of advisors. Their only job is to work with you to build that business credit profile, because you're going to run into problems. Every business is different. It has its own set of unique problems. We understand that, and we're going to show you how to get around that. If Dun & Bradstreet doesn't recognize you for some reason, or you have to update something, we'll show you how to update it. If we look at your fundability factors and see a problem, we're going to show you how to correct that. So we're almost like tour guides through the whole process with experience to know how to overcome it. With our platform, you get logged in, you get 5 years access, you get 1 year of coaching. You won't use the 1 year of coaching. You will use the 5 years of access. Here's why. Business credit changes day to day to day. In other words, underwriting criteria changes every day. Mm-hmm. Some lenders stop reporting, some stop approving. We have a whole team of researchers. Their only job is to verify and then re-verify. So if they're in our system, we're 100% sure you can get approved.
Gotcha. Okay.
If they stop reporting, we pull them out. Plus, more importantly, we're always adding new banks. We added TD Bank, I think 6 months ago. They weren't in there. We have a team that's all they do. So we have, I think it's 500 different lenders in here between vendors and creditors. Probably 200 are in the building section, 250, and another 250 in the what we call non-reporting accounts. So they don't report, they don't help you build, but they're great credit to have, like the Apples of the world. Mm-hmm. All right, Dell Computers is another one. So that's how it works. It's real simple to follow. I'm an expert at this, and if I quit today, I would buy our program just so I had access to it, because I know it changes. Mm-hmm. Right? Okay. That's why it's so difficult to write a book about building business credit. I did, and sold a lot of copies, and I felt guilty after a while because a lot of the information was outdated. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't outdated when I wrote it, but 6 months later it was.
Yeah, that makes
it's always changing. Yeah, that's why what we do is such a big. That's why nobody touches us. We have no real competitors. There are people who say they are competitors, but nobody really does what we do. We've got over 80 employees here. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people helping you build that profile. It's our CEO and COO's dream to touch every business owner in the country, not because of the financial side of it, but because they've both been down the road where they didn't have business credit, just as I have. And we understand the game-changing difference it is if you do. Mm-hmm. And the problem is all the big companies know about it. Matter of fact, give you an example. 1945, young man came home from World War II, went to work for J.C. Penney's for $75 a month. Decided he wanted to be in retail and began negotiating with his sources for credit, for terms, for his little store he was going to open up. And he got really good at it. Really, really good at it. So he got these terms, and he got discounts on top of it. He named his company Walmart. Mm. Look how big they got. If you go into Walmart today and you buy anything, the odds are they haven't paid for it yet. They reversed it. See, I believe in big companies financing small companies. They reversed it. They got all these small companies financing a big company. Mm-hmm. Right? If you want to do business with Walmart, they're going to demand 90-day terms minimum.
Interesting.
Right? So they know about it. They understand it. Why aren't you doing it? Mm-hmm. Make sense?
Yeah.
I say that a lot. I'm always like, yeah, I just want to hear yeses all the time.
Yeah. No, I say that makes sense all the time.
Yes.
Or if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
But if that blueprint worked for Walmart, why would you not follow that blueprint?
Yeah.
Amazon's even better at it. They never pay for it.
Yeah,
they
it's
just
not
want,
even.
they
Yeah.
just get a piece of the action. Once again, they're using other people's credit. They're letting somebody else finance and they are the biggest company in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're basically just like a giant affiliate. Like they don't own.
That's it.
I mean, there are some of it, right? But like in a lot of the cases, it's just someone else is selling their product through Amazon. So,
I'm guilty. I sell my book through Amazon. Right?
Yeah.
I could tell you that they do inventory products because I ordered coffee the other day and it was at my door an hour and a half later. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa. Well, because they have a huge warehouse near us. So that means they're getting they're getting products from the sellers, right, that they can inventory on credit. They're not paying them. They're getting it on credit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sell it and then they pay them.
Yep.
So this isn't new. This just isn't taught. This isn't taught in any business school anywhere. They really don't want you to know about it. And it makes sense because if you don't know about it, then I'm going to get you to personally guarantee everything if I'm a lender, if I'm a creditor, right? And that protects me. My job is to protect my company. If I'm going to give you vehicle financing, if I can get you to sign on the dotted line personally, I'm a hero.
Yeah.
But I can assure you there is no company doing over $100 million out there where anybody signs for any of their vehicles. It's all just given to the business in the business name.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody signs to take possession of it, but they're not guaranteeing it.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you can all do it. Everybody can do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's a lot of people too that they still have like a personal bank account or don't have an LLC or anything like that, like any level of separation. So I tell people that a lot of the time too, where it's like, hey, like, first of all, you need to have a level of protection between yourself and the business for both directions' sake. Because you never know what's going to happen. People get divorced all the time.
Right.
And the climate, the business climate changes. Like 2020 is a good example of an unpredictable year, to say the least. And lots of people went out of business. Lots of people started businesses also, but it was a very scary space to be in, and it was very specific industries. Some industries blew up, and new things happened that hadn't been like in existence before. And then other people were like, "Oh, I have a restaurant, so I'm screwed now." Cool. And then now, where like people are having a hard time finding employees, it's still a scary space to be because they can't find employees to work, so they're having to shut down for 1 or 2 days a week or something like that. It's like those are situations that nobody could have predicted that. Like that's a whole different level. Like it's not a slow decline of the restaurant industry or like when Hollywood Video and Blockbuster went out of business. Like that was, you could see that coming. It took a little time to get there, but like those kinds of things are a little bit more predictable. Where something like that, like you never know when there's going to be a COVID or God forbid a war. I don't know. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that can happen. So separate yourself from the business.
We actually had our best year ever, and we're still growing. And it was because we've been preaching this for 10 years. So the ones who were non-believers suddenly became quickly believers. Like, I need to build business credit right now.
Mm-hmm.
People that we talked to in the past are like, yeah, I'll just use my personal credit. Well, guess what? Now you've lost your job or your income's cut in half and you're on the hook for everything. Mm-hmm. So we literally doubled in size, and we expect to double again next year. And I'm glad. Not that I'm glad we're doubling in size. Of course I am. But I'm glad that people are finally getting it. Protect yourself. Let the business stand on its own 2 feet. If, God forbid, something, forget a tragedy in a national level. Just look at it from a personal level.
Yeah.
Protect your family. If your business goes out of business because, God forbid, you get hit by a car, don't leave your family on the hook for all your debt.
Yeah.
The business will be responsible for that debt, and they're obviously going to close it and bankrupt the company. You won't be responsible. Obviously, you won't be responsible, but don't leave it on your family, is my point. And people don't like to think like that, but look, nobody plans to fail, but don't fail to plan.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? You gotta. I say it all the time. I think I said it to you. Play chess with your business, not checkers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right.
I just had an estate planning attorney on here, and then I'm going to have another one in a little bit too. But that's kind of one of the things we're talking about is the preparing for worst case, so that when it happens, or when something happens, like you said, you're not just like out in the wind. So,
Yeah. It's you don't want to work your whole life to support your family, and then your family's on the hook because you didn't plan properly, and now I've got all this personal debt. And like in my case, I was always a one income household. I'm old fashioned. My wife stayed at home, raised the kids, which I loved. If my business had shut down and I was carrying or let's say I was killed, she'd have been on the hook for all kinds of personal debt if I didn't have it in the business name. And I had millions of dollars. I mean, tens of millions of dollars in debt.
mhm.
Right? But she wasn't tied to any of it. I wasn't tied to any of it. The business was tied to it.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, we'll segue out of the darkness.
I was just thinking, we went right down a hole, didn't we?
Yeah. I was like, how dark can this get? Let's see. So, as an entrepreneur and business owner yourself, what advice, I mean, aside from the stuff we've talked about, like a little nugget of wisdom, what advice would you give fellow business owners when it comes to running their businesses?
Oh, listen, I firmly believe what I'm about to say. My company, my printing company was really successful. And one of the reasons was I partnered up with somebody who was literally 50 years older than me, 45 years older than me. I wanted his perspective. Right now, it doesn't mean you have to partner with somebody, but always have somebody, some mentor that you can talk to, and don't be afraid to look in your industry. Right, in the printing industry, we got together every month, all of us competitors, and played golf. Part of the reasoning was we wanted to hash out problems that we're having. Are you having these same type of problems? How did you handle this problem? Right. So find mentors or like-minded people that you can talk to. And the other thing that we did is we had a board of directors. Now, they weren't paid. They were just people that volunteered. And of course, we took them out to dinner every quarter. They were friends, but we had a lawyer, an FBI agent, the president of a hospital, a vice president of a much bigger competitor of ours, much bigger, like way big, almost a different industry. But he was running a printing company as well. So we had this board of directors that would give us advice. And our agreement was if we ever disagreed, they would make the call. We'd let the board make the call. And that kept our partnership going forever. So my point is surround yourself with people who know more than you do. Don't be afraid to be the dumbest one in the room. Matter of fact, you'll want to be the dumbest one in the room. There are some people that love that ego of being the smartest person in the room. I feel bad for them because they're not learning anything. Surround yourself with people who are much smarter than you, much better at what you do, so that you can learn from them.
I like that. Yep. I was just talking, I don't remember what I was talking about or who I was talking to yesterday. I was talking about, competition is important and you have to have competition to grow. And that's kind of a big part of it is having people, like you said, that are, leveled up further than you are, or, even like you said, even in the same industry, like as long as the relationship is clear, right? Because that can get kind of tricky too. Is like here's some boundaries for that, but
right.
Yeah, no, I like that. Challenge yourself to grow, for sure. What resources do you wish you had known about or taken advantage of at the beginning of your entrepreneur journey? What are some things that would have been helpful to you?
The internet. Would have been good.
Okay. I mean, come on, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, honestly, I wish I'd have learned what that little nugget I just gave you earlier in the game. We figured that after about 7 or 8 years. But I wish that I had a better relationship with a banker. In other words, a one-on-one relationship, which is really difficult today with the corporations buying. You remember when the banks went through that buying spree, they were just buying each other up. Matter of fact, even today when people say, hey, do you have a recommendation for a bank? I say, yeah, go find the smallest bank in your town, do business with them.
Yeah.
Do business with them. Get to know a banker, because when you actually have someone who knows your business, I mean, personally knows your business, you'll find they're a lot easier to deal with. They're not going to look at you as deeply as Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo doesn't care about you. They could care less. And I don't want to be sued. I don't mean that in a marketing way. I just mean they don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So how many people does this go out to? Anyway.
I have no idea.
Yeah. That's what I would do. I would get to know somebody personally that has, so work with small banks if you can. If you have that opportunity, you're starting a business, get to develop that relationship. You will find that's a game changer for you. An absolute game changer. There was a bank, when I grew up, the bank that I used, as a matter of fact, they were called Commerce Bank in New Jersey. They got bought out by TD Bank, but the reason they got so big was because you could talk to people. You could walk in, they knew who you were, right?
Oh,
They weren't constantly rotating employees. It was always the same manager, always the same, it was always the same. And remember, they were the first bank to open on Sundays in the country. And they recognize the need. They recognize that business owners are busy all week, and then Saturday want to spend time with their families, and maybe Sunday they're trying to get some business done. They need to make deposits, whatever. So that's why they got so big. So if you can find a small banker, do business with them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of like, to me, it's the same concept of like having an insurance agent or something like that, where you have an actual ongoing relationship with them. And they know your business and they know you better than just the average person. Like, you can go to Geico or whatever and get insurance, sure, but it's a different kind of relationship. So,
Yep. Geico's going to look to just get the highest premium they can out of you. Your insurance agent will know your business and understand what you really need.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Okay. So tell us how we can best support you. What are you working on? Can we help spread the word for you about anything?
Well, yes, obviously, spread the word about building. We want to touch every business owner, and we just can't physically reach them. It's impossible. We're a national company without a national reach yet. That may be coming someday. But honestly, if you know somebody who owns a business, let them know. Look at your business credit profile. Just look at it. See if it's there. Go to creditsuite.com/reports. Get 30 days free of business credit monitoring. See what's on your business credit report. You're going to be shocked at what you see. We want to help every small business owner. We're not here for the big guys. We're here for the small business owners. When I say big guys, 500 million or higher.
Yeah.
Because we really feel like they're at a disadvantage. Well, obviously financially they're at a disadvantage, but just not knowing that this information is available to them. And like I said, we just can't reach them all. Unless you're on Facebook and on YouTube and following us, you may not have ever heard of us. But we've helped tens of thousands of business owners. But there's every day, how many businesses do you think get registered in a day? Right?
Oh yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's so no matter how many we help, we can't keep up with the onslaught of new business owners. And I think that's only going to get better. I think there's going to be more and more business owners as people don't go back to work or as people get laid off. You're going to find people just creating jobs. I think this is an exciting time.
Yeah.
Usually when something negative happens, that's when people start innovating, right? Whoever heard of Zoom? Part of this, right? I never heard of Zoom. Didn't know what
they're
Zoom
doing
was.
just fine now.
Just exactly. So my point is, in order to help us help them, just spread the word. Even if you're not interested in doing business with us, or even just let other people know so that they can talk to us, because we give away a ton of free information. Just like now, we give away a ton of free. We don't need you to pay us for us to help you. We still want to help.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. How do people get in touch with you?
They can go to the link that I gave you, which I'd prefer them to do to get their free business credit building guide. That's creditsuite.com/pod-EIN, POD-EIN. They can certainly call into the company at 87. Hold on, I want to give you I don't want to give you our advising number. You would think I would know this off the top of my head. I only know my direct line, and that's not fair. I don't want to do that. I want them to call 877-600-2487. That's 877-600-2487. They can reach out to us via email at info@creditsuite.com. But really, your best bet is go to that link that'll be in the show notes. It's creditsuite.com/POD-EIN. Download your free guide. It's free. Nobody's going to bother you. And then you can reach out to somebody via email, and somebody on my team will reach out. I promise you, we respond immediately.
Okay. Perfect. Well, yeah, anything else before we wrap up?
No, I think we're good. I think I talk too much.
You did warn me ahead of time. You're like, listen, I never stop talking. So
Never.
I think it was helpful. So we're good. Yeah. Perfect. Well, thanks for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. And
it was my pleasure.
Yeah. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it.